They say the night the bells tolled in Blackmere changed the village forever. A forgotten place pressed between mist-thickened hills and endless forests, Blackmere was not marked on most maps. Travelers who stumbled upon it often described the village as though it had been left behind in time. Its cottages huddled close together, its cobbled paths crooked with age, and its church tower leaning like a broken tooth against the horizon. For decades, the village bell had remained silent. The great bronze tongue had been stilled ever since the rope rotted and snapped, and no one dared replace it. People claimed it was better that way, for when the bell had last tolled, 60 years ago, the dead had walked in the fog. But one storm-drowned night, when the wind howled across the moors like something alive, a traveler heard the sound again. Her name was Anna Fletcher, a young woman of 25. She was not a villager but a wanderer with a leather satchel, a flickering lantern, and an unfortunate sense of direction. Rain lashed at her cloak, soaking her boots in mud. She had been walking for hours without finding shelter, and every path seemed swallowed by the dark. When the bell rang, low and mournful, she froze. Her first thought was relief. A church, she whispered to herself. Thank God. She followed the sound down a narrow track, her lantern struggling to pierce the rain. The path twisted and dipped, sucking at her heels until, through the fog, a structure appeared. A crooked stone building, tall and stern, its spire cracked with age. The windows gaped like blind eyes. Iron chains wrapped its doors and walls, as though someone had tried not to keep strangers out, but to keep something in. Yet high above, the bell swung. No rope touched it. Anna's heart thumped. Something was wrong, but the rain was relentless, and exhaustion pressed at her bones. She stumbled to the side of the church, found a broken window, and slipped inside. The silence hit her first. Not silence of emptiness, but of suffocation. Outside the storm raged, but in here the air was bone-dry, thick with dust. Rows of pews sat hunched beneath cobwebs. Statues had crumbled into headless figures. But on the stone floor, glistening fresh against the dust, were footprints. Wet, recent, leading toward the altar. Her throat tightened. Is someone here? She whispered, voice echoing back too loudly. Her lantern flame stuttered as she followed the trail. Then she saw it. Not a cross, not a holy icon. A mirror. It towered above the altar, nailed into the wall with rusting spikes. Its surface was cracked, its frame scorched black as though it had survived a fire. The footprints ended before it. Anna stepped closer. Her reflection stared back, pale and wide-eyed. She lifted her lantern. Her reflection smiled. Anna did not. The flame died. Darkness swallowed the church. Outside, the bell tolled again. By morning, the rain had ceased. Mist drifted heavy across Blackmere's crooked lanes. The villagers, drawn by the sound of the bell, gathered at the church. The chains had snapped. The doors hung wide. Inside there was no sign of Anna Fletcher. She's gone, whispered Mrs. Corbett, the baker's wife. Taken, not taken, rasped old Branwell, the oldest man in the village, who walked with a stick gnawed by years. His cloudy eyes darted toward the mirror still nailed above the altar. Swallowed. The looking-glass claims who it pleases. Whispers spread quickly. Children clutched at their mothers. Men spat on the ground and muttered prayers. Everyone in Blackmere knew the story. 60 years ago, children had gone missing after playing inside the church. When the priest found them, their reflections had moved differently, smiling when they should not, walking when they stood still. The next morning, the children were gone, and what came back wearing their faces was not human. The priest had sealed the mirror in chains, locked the doors, and silenced the bell. Until now. That night, fog rolled thick across the village. The villagers barred their doors. Windows slammed shut. Lamps were doused. But in the cottage of the Cooper family, little Leo crept toward the window. Curiosity burned brighter than fear. He pressed his face to the glass and saw movement in the mist. Someone was walking outside. Leo blinked. His breath caught. It was himself. A second Leo, pale and silent, walked along the lane, passing between the fog like a shadow unbothered by the world. It turned its head, and though it was far away, Leo knew it was smiling. "Mother," he whispered, trembling. "Mother, it's me." His mother yanked him back, slammed the shutters, and locked them. But outside, the bell began to toll again. Days later, a shepherd swore he saw a young woman on the ridge above the moors. She carried a lantern, though no flame lit it. Her clothes were sodden, her hair clung to her face, and her eyes glowed faintly in the fog. "Anna Fletcher," the shepherd whispered, but he did not follow. For walking beside her was her reflection, not in a mirror, not in glass, in the open air. It moved when she did not. It smiled when she wept, and when she turned her head, the reflection turned toward him, grinning wide, teeth too sharp to belong to a human mouth. The shepherd never spoke of it again. By the third night, the tolling of the bell had spread beyond the village. Travelers on the far roads claimed they could hear it, calling them into the mist. Villagers whispered that the mirror was awake, hungry after decades of silence. Branwell warned them, "Do not look into the fog. Do not answer the bell. And for God's sake, never look into the mirror." But curiosity gnawed, fear sharpened, and still the bell tolled, louder each night, summoning. It happened on the seventh night. The bell did not toll at midnight. It tolled at dawn. The villagers awoke to mist thicker than ever before. Doors creaked open. Children, weeping, claimed to hear their own voices outside calling them to play. "Come out, Leo," whispered the fog at the cooper's door. "Come out, Anna." One by one, doors unlocked. Figures walked the lanes. Familiar faces, familiar clothes. But each smile was wrong. Each step echoed hollow. The villagers fled to the church, seeking sanctuary. Inside, the mirror waited. Cracks spread wider across its glass, black light pulsing from within. Reflections peeled themselves away and stepped onto the stone floor. Men met themselves face to face, only to feel their throats slit by hands that moved too fast. Mothers screamed as their children's shadows dragged them into the glass. The bell roared overhead, deafening. And in the chaos, Anna Fletcher stood before the mirror. Her eyes were empty now. Her reflection reached out, pressed its hand against hers. The glass melted like water. Anna stepped through. The mirror sealed. The bell fell silent. Blackmere is quieter now. Too quiet. The church still stands, though its tower is broken. The bell lies shattered on the ground, its bronze split like rotten fruit. No chains bind the doors anymore. No priest guards the altar. But the mirror remains, covered now with a ragged sheet. Yet villagers say if you stand in the nave at night, you will hear the glass breathing. And sometimes, in the mist, you will see someone you know walking ahead of you. Sometimes it's yourself. And if you follow, you never come back. Subscribe if you dare.